Hi, what we've got today, this arrived for me this morning. I know exactly what it is. I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit of a SmartThings fan. I quite like the ease of use. I like the fact that there's loads of sensors, there's loads of device type handlers that you can get in the community. But I wanted to start looking at other things that were a little bit more in depth, and in particular, I'm quite interested in automating my both my roller blinds and my Venetian blinds, both of which are I wouldn't say they're a massive problem, but they are a bit of a problem. I've ordered a couple of Node MCU boards, and I've also ordered some servos. Unfortunately, my house blinds are very small, which ultimately means that I can't fit the servos within the housing of the blinds. We're going to be moving over to plantation blinds very soon, so I'm not really too worried about it. But what it did get me interested in is looking at Home Assistant to run hand in hand with my SmartThings. Now, being in IT, I've been in IT for many years. I've got computers everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere. Everybody in the house has got a computer, at least a computer, and a laptop, and a tablet, and a phone. So literally, I'm not short of boxes that I can stick it on. What I didn't want to do though, excuse me, what I didn't want to do is have another desktop or another server happily whirring away. As it stands in my desk at the moment, I've got both my desktop and I've got a server next to it running Windows 2012 server. So what I really wanted to do is just get something that was simple, low power, didn't take much effort, so that I could run Home Assistant, at least get my head around it. Because although I've set up Linux servers before, I've run them on virtual machines and so on and so forth, the one thing that I've never really had much experience with is what's in this box. So what have we got? We have a Raspberry Pi version 3 Model B. It's got the wireless LAN and it's got Bluetooth. We have a nice little case for the Pi, and we have a power supply. That's all we've got. This actually wasn't a bad kit, to be honest. I got the whole lot for about 50 quid off of Amazon, which wasn't too bad. I only bought it yesterday, so Amazon Prime, yay. Everybody's seen one of these before. I'll open it up and we can have a proper in-depth look. There's plenty of videos on the internet about what a Pi is. Essentially, it's a very small computer. The Model B, from what I understand, is quad core. At least I think it's quad core. I don't think it's octa-core. And it's got it's 1.3 gigahertz, and it's got 1 gig of RAM. Obviously, it's a Pi. It's got no onboard memory whatsoever, or rather onboard storage. This is it's a full-blown SD card, but what it actually got in it is the 16 gig. It's the Noobs software, so new out of the box software. So it has things like Raspbian on it, safety instructions in all different languages. If you didn't know about the Raspberry Pi, what it originally was, it was set up, I think it was about 4 years ago now, maybe a little bit longer. In fact, I think it was longer. And it was set up for schools. A couple of guys wanted kids in schools to learn more about coding, want to learn more about proper IT. You know, so they brought this thing in to be able to help teach kids, and I think that's fantastic. However, it's actually been grabbed hold of by a large hack. I say the word hacking. Hacking is not. It's not like black hat, grey hat, white hat. You know, these aren't people trying to get into your computers. But if you go somewhere like Hackaday or somewhere like that, it's about people making things. It's about people, you know, sort of developing their skills, especially with the Internet of Things these days, smart home technology. You know, you can buy off the shelf. You can get home kit. You can get, as I've got, you've got smart things. You can get home hab, home assistant. You can get all of these different things. There's Wink. The Wilderness Dog these days are bringing out some form of technology that's going to help you live an easier, more convenient life. But there's still that kind of area out there where it's people who want to do more. And I kind of got onto this smart home thing. It literally was. It was December, well, it was January this year, really. Those who know me, I've got a young son who's just about to turn 18, and one thing he really wanted was he wanted a Google Home for his Christmas. So we got him a Google Home for Christmas. He loved it. The wife loved it. So she went out and said, "Let's have one for every room in the house." We got one for every room in the house, and then of course you start reading that up, and it said, "Why not control your lights?" So quick trip down to PC World, great time out, and then we found out that this is what we want to do. So we got a Smart Thing starter kit. So you ended up with loads of things like this, and a Smart Things box. We hooked that in, and then of course it was a case of, right, well, what can we control? Well, we'd like to control some lights, so we hooked up one light. Next thing you know, we're going, well, we really want more lights. So then we went out and we got a Philips Hue system. Then we found out that they're all E27, which are the screw fit bulbs, and of course this is the UK, everywhere's bayonet fixing. So we then had to like traipse around every shop known to man looking for a converter, couldn't get them, had to buy them off Amazon. So that wasn't very convenient, and then it kind of moved on from there, and it's really spiraled. We're doing this massive thing at the present moment of putting in LED strips into the lounge, and there's going to be videos on that as we move along. But certainly, this is the next step, really. As I say, I don't have a lot of experience on this, so this is a journey that maybe that you guys can take with me. You know, I'm not going to sit there and tell you how easy it is, and I'm going to be very open. You know, I'm going to do a little bit of research on this, and I'm going to look into it, and you know, we can start doing the installs and things like that and setting it up. But any which way, this is the Raspberry Pi. Like I say, everybody's seen one before. You've got HDMI, you've got a micro USB port, you've got a 10100, I don't think it's gigabit, I think it is just 10100. You've got 4 USB ports, they only produce about 1.2 amps, so you can't really go running an external hard drive straight off of this. I think there are some external hard drives that you can. So there's an SD card reader. It's a Broadcom chipset. You've got a display port. Now, there are some very good touchscreens for this. We won't be using a touchscreen because there's not really any point. This is actually going to be running the whole of the Home Assistant server. As you can see, it's tiny. It doesn't get overly hot. You can get a heatsink for it, but I'm not going to be thrashing this to death. And this is really just to sit in my comms cupboard, so that it can run Home Assistant. And from there, we can start, as I say, using things like Node MCU. We can start using things like Node Red. We can create our own procedures. We can start really hitting this in a big way, rather than just a straight out of the box solution. So, as I said, we'll start moving along with this. I'm not going to put it in the box in front of you. It is literally just a sealed case. Luckily enough, and this is quite nice, it's actually got some holes so you can mount it. But if you are going to mount it, don't put too long of screws in, and maybe put a bit of tape over the screw heads. Last thing you want to do, put this all in its box. It goes all fantastic. You go to plug it in, bang, end of game. But that's it. As I said, we all know what a plug socket looks like, rather a plug. This is the proper Raspberry Pi one. If you use a phone charger, you might only be getting 1.2, maybe 2 amps. That's not really going to be enough. 2.5 amps is the chosen amount. If you undervolt, it might still work, but you will get a little lightning bolt signal up at the top of the screen when you start to install. So anyway, that's it for now. Let's have a look at this again, and we'll see how we get on with maybe a video about how to install Hass.io. But for now, great. See you next time.